What's up, Daily Doodlers? I hope you're all having a great day today. If not, then you're in luck, because today is day number 24 of Inktober? Is this the 24th prompt? It should be, yeah. So, I'm actually really happy with the way that this one turned out, but I guess I'm getting a little bit of ahead of myself since we are barely into the video. Today's prompt is chop, and there were a couple of ideas that I thought of for this one. I thought of maybe chopping down a tree. I thought of course I can't think of them right now, but the one that I ultimately ended up going with was a cook chopping the head off of a fish. And I considered doing something a little more morbid. I'll let you decide what exactly I mean by that, but I decided not to because I am a family-friendly channel and I am not going to do stuff like that. So yeah, but anyways, I had this perspective in my head when I started drawing it, and I really wanted to get this perspective, and I didn't quite get it exactly the way that I wanted to. However, I think ultimately the end result turned out way better than I expected it to, because even though the image in my head was incredible, I knew that I wouldn't be able to realistically portray that image because it's just really difficult for me to because it's just really difficult for me to get the picture I have into my head on paper. I'm sure a lot of people struggle with that. But the image that I had was this really forced perspective of the fish in the foreground. Like, the fish is like the biggest thing that you see. It is right there, right in your face, and he's holding the fish, and he's sort of like above, like the camera, the way that the camera angle is, he's sort of above the camera, and he's reaching up and he's going to chop the fish. I'm doing all of these hand motions. I don't know why, you can't see me. But that was the image that I had in my head, and I sort of got that. I got the fish and him holding the fish and him going up, holding his other arm up to go to chop the fish head. But I didn't really get the camera to quote unquote camera. I didn't really get the angle to be in the correct way so that it was like looking up at the chef. So that's something I kind of need to work on. That and foreshortening. Oh my goodness, foreshortening makes me want to cry. I am so bad at foreshortening. It's terrible. But yeah. So because I'm so bad at it, I don't really do it that often, which is not the way to go. If you're bad at something, you're supposed to draw it more so that you can get good at it. But foreshortening, man, just foreshortening. It's so yeah, it's hard. But overall, I think I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I actually struggled more with is that his left arm or his right arm? The arm that's holding the cleaver? Left, right. That's his left arm, isn't it? Apparently he's left-handed. I didn't even really think about it. But yeah, so the arm that's holding the cleaver, I had so much trouble with that. I think I had more trouble with that than with the foreshortening. So I don't know why. I guess it was just because the way that he's holding the cleaver, I really hope that's what it's called, otherwise I probably look stupid right now. But the way that he's holding the cleaver, and the way that he's like going to chop the fish, the blade is sort of pointing directly at the viewer, and so it's kind of hard to... I was tempted to just like draw a straight line, because that's really probably the way that it would actually be, is kind of just like the straight line. But I couldn't do that. I knew that I wouldn't be able to do that, so I tried to give it a little bit of an angle, and honestly, it's probably just super awkward, but it's fine. It's all good. After I drew him, I didn't really know what I wanted to do for the background, so I just kind of drew whatever came to my mind, and I don't really know what a professional kitchen is supposed to look like, so I kind of just put stuff that would be in a typical kitchen. I mean, I tried to do a fancy, like, refrigerator and, like, spice rack thing, or kitchen rack, I guess, because it holds spatulas and stuff too. But, to be honest, my idea of a fancy refrigerator is a really big refrigerator with one of those drawers at the bottom. That's my idea of a fancy refrigerator. I don't know if there are any other interpretations of fancy refrigerators, but that's mine, apparently. The inking... Okay, I always get really excited whenever I get to the inking portion of my art, because everything just starts to come together and it just starts to look so clean and complete, and I'm just like, yes, it's starting to look so good. Until I screw something up, which I actually did many times in this artwork. I screwed up so many different times, and I tried my best to cover up all of them, but it's fine. It's fine. Despite all that, I'm actually, like I said, really happy with this piece. So that's good. It's I'm just looking at this guy's nose, this guy's giant nose accompanied with an even bigger mouth. Like, I don't know why I decided to give him a giant nose and a humongous mouth, but I did. That apparently I felt it was necessary, but I really like it. It's not really... the proportions of his face aren't really realistic, but they're kind of cartoony, and I really like the whole cartoony style a lot more than a realistic style, and I try to keep my drawings realistic, but I also try to give them a little bit of a cartoony aspect that is like, when you look at it, you know that wouldn't happen in real life, but it still looks sort of natural. In a way, I try to. That's what I aim for. I don't know if I'm successful at it, but that's what I try to do. So yeah. So just this background. It's kind of, the background is a little bit flat. Probably more flat than I really want it to be. But overall, it's okay. I wish I had added a little more depth to like done it at an angle so that you could sort of see the sides of like the counters and the cabinets. The cabinets, that's what they're called. But I don't know. I didn't do that, so this is what we got. But, yeah, so it's just, and let me tell you guys, different sizes of line art pen things, I can't speak apparently, different sizes of pens that you use for line art is are actual lifesavers. Like, it is so amazing. And I think I mentioned this in my last Inktober video, but it just makes things so much easier. So I'm really happy with it. There was one point where when I draw the floor, I don't know what I was thinking, but I didn't follow the lines that I drew with the pencil. I just sort of did my own thing when I was using the ink. And I was like, why did I do that? Because the floor ended up all wacky on the right. Well, my right, his left, but you know, anyway. It kind of glitched out a little bit and it was really awkward and I was like, really? But the other side, the floor on the other side of him looks good, so I don't know how that works. It's something. It's something, all right. I also just realized that you can continuously see my earbud wire, I guess that's what you call it, my earbuds in the picture, so I apologize for that, I guess. I hope that doesn't bother you, but it probably does. So yeah, this is where I end up messing the floor up. But anyways, overall, I am really happy with it, and I think it turned out really well. I think I made a lot of mistakes. There was one point where when I was drawing one of the cabinets, I didn't draw one of the lines straight, and I had to cover it up by doing this weird design on it, and you've probably noticed that already and been like, why did she do that? But that was the reason. So I had to fix that. I accidentally drew one of the lines from the floor a little too long, so it goes onto the counter that the chef is chopping on. I accidentally messed up the line on the top of the fridge a little bit, and the cleaver technically goes off the page, because if I ripped this out, then it would end up like cutting off the top of the cleaver, because it's like, you know, perforated. So that happened. So yeah, there were a lot of mistakes in making this piece, but overall, I think it turned out really, really good. I did a checkered pattern on the floor. I color that in a little later. I make the fish and his hand a little bit thicker lines, and that really helps to accentuate that and bring a little bit more focus towards that area. And I just think overall, I did pretty good. And I feel like I'm bragging about it, but like, I really, for a lot of the times, I don't like my artwork. So whenever I make artwork and I really like it, I'm like, whoa, what is this madness? I actually did good for once. And so I'm a little proud of myself. I honestly don't know. I'm just happy with the drawing, and that's really all there is to it. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please remember to leave a like, and if you happen to be new, please consider subscribing to join my little daily doodlers. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.